Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Josh. I'm from Kane Productions, and welcome to some Overwatch gameplay, a game I haven't actually played since this time last year. So that means that this footage was actually taken from when my older brother was visiting, and I kind of borrowed his Overwatch disc and got some gameplay. But finally, I found the hard drive with it on, so I decided to use it as some backdrop. But what's going on? Have you guys been over the past 4 months? Because for me, I've just been very, very busy working. I honestly thought that I'd have more free time to be uploading videos, but that didn't actually come to fruition just due to the actual unintended labor that I actually ended up doing due to my job and extracurricular activities in my life as well. But nonetheless, guys, here I am back to make some more videos and upload for you and do some games. Recently, I've got back into Call of Duty, specifically zombies, so that's going to be very interesting for the future of the channel. I really used to love doing something called Friday Zombies when I used to upload on my channel, Guns of Deception, which, side note, I'm also starting up fresh again. I've unlisted all my videos so that way I can create like a kind of fresh outlook, and I plan on uploading some more like personal kind of content on there, like on a more like unsteady, like more personal, unprofessional note. But nonetheless, back to reality. I plan on getting the new Call of Duty game, so look forward to getting some actual commentaries. That's something that's my personal favorite to do. I used to really get a lot of enjoyment back when I was in junior high and high school, and I did Call of Duty commentaries. I had a great time doing it, and hopefully you guys are going to enjoy what comes out of that. On that note, I'd like to finally introduce the topic of today's video, which is actually what I did over that 4-month period span, and that is work at an airport. So my job title was a ramp man, and essentially what that actually means is that I had to do everything that involves the plane besides like the obvious functionings like flying it, like fixing problems with it. That's like the engineer's, deal. So I'm gonna give you a rundown of my average day over the summer, and that started with coming in for a 7 a.m. shift, and we'd get a flight in the morning from Calgary, and that was a 737-800 plane, which was the largest of the planes that we actually serviced over there, the airport that we work at. And that plane used to come in very heavy because you had a lot of oil sands workers going in and coming out, so it'd be extremely heavy luggage and heavy equipment coming in and coming off, and it would always be full throughout the actual summer. And the thing is that most people we work with were lazy as fuck, and the majority of them didn't do anything. But me and a few others took it upon ourselves to make sure that we kind of learned how to do everything, so that way there was always somebody there to do the right thing. So essentially what would happen is the plane would come in, we'd hop on some belt loaders, we put belt loaders onto the plane, we go up into the belly of the plane. Then for the 800, 3 people would usually be required for it, but our company was really short-handed, so we usually had to 2-man it, occasionally 1-man it, believe it or not. And just for your imagination, the inside of that belly is like 7 or 8 meters long on the inside, so like you gotta like kind of toss your bags really far, and then like if you're by yourself it takes a while, but nonetheless you're only supposed to have 45 minutes for a turn. And so once you offload the bags, you hop out of the belt loader, you got to go upstairs and you got to do a quick room, which means that you have to do a quick vacuum on the plane, and you also have to go and change the lavs and the garbage, which means you had to clean the shitter, if you know what I mean. And so while you were doing that, someone was also downstairs probably filling up the water tank for fresh water, for drinking water, which you shouldn't drink, by the way, and for also the shitter, dumping the actual lavatory tanks on the plane. And that's usually on request by the pilots, but we can go up and check ourselves. But anyways, after that, we'd hop off that plane, we'd go down, load it up, and fill that plane up, push it back, and then we'd take in another plane at 11, and that would usually be Dublin. Then we'd do the same stuff with that. That was a 700 usually. Then we would have around 12 o'clock, we'd have between 12 and 1, we'd have 3 planes come in, a Halifax, a Toronto flight, and also a Gatwick flight from, it was a London Gatwick flight, I'm pretty sure. And nonetheless, those flights were all fun because one of those was a quick turn, one of us was a quick groom, and the other one was a full groom. And usually you'd find some interesting stuff. One time I found a diabetic needle in one of the plane seat pockets, which was fucked because that's sharp, and somebody was really like not thinking to leave that there. Another time we had a bag come on in the bottom of the plane, I remember, and it literally had fucking like sewing stitches and shit sticking out of it. It was nuts. I think I got pictures on my phone. I'll try to find it like for the video and shit. But nonetheless, that was crazy. And then we'd push those planes out, and then we'd have at 2:30, 2:35, the last plane would go out for the day, and we'd be out at 3. So then we'd just clock out. So the most fucked up thing about our job is like actually realizing how low budget working around aircraft actually is. I mean, all of us were minimum wage workers besides people who were 20 and 30 years working for the company, who were lucky to get between like 15 and 20 bucks an hour. And that being said, all the equipment we used had no seatbelts on it. It was just trash. I've seen people, like, we never really got trained on how to do anything. It was kind of like go on the ramp and learn how to do it. And because of that, you've had people literally have animals fall off of baggage carts because they drive too fast. The animals, like, have fallen out of cages. They've run around on the actual tarmac at our airport. Like, shit's gone down. I mean, people have hurt themselves and stuff. You've had, while I was there, actually, 3 horrible incidents happened. A guy I wasn't there for one of them. One guy drove a belt loader through the bottom fin of a plane, which caused a nice bit of damage. He wasn't allowed to work any flights on that airline ever again. And second incident was actually one of my friends. He drove a belt loader into the back of a Q400 plane. For those of you who don't know what a Q400, Air Canada Jazz, WestJet Encore, and also Porter, all of those planes are Q400, so they're small propeller-based planes. And he drove a belt loader into the back of the plane. Didn't cause any actual damage. It was just slight damage, nothing major. No one got hurt, luckily. But the last incident got actually our company to lay off everybody, and they're actually pulling out completely, which means that this is a horrible incident. But what happened was the supervisor of the local branch of the company, he pushed a plane, the back of the plane, he pushed a 737-800 into one of the giant light poles at the airport, causing upwards of $2 million worth of damage. And yeah, so that was pretty nuts. That actually led to the company completely leaving our branch, I guess, like completely pulling out, just closing up shop. But yeah, it's very interesting working at an airport. If you guys have any questions, I'd love to answer them. Go ahead and leave your questions in the comments. And have a great day, and I'll talk to you guys later on.